Welcome to CAD and Sorcery. In this video, I'll demonstrate the capabilities of exploded views in SOLIDWORKS. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more SOLIDWORKS content. Your support keeps the gears turning. An exploded view is a visual representation that displays the individual components of an assembly, arranged in a way that illustrates how these components come together when the assembly is complete. Think of it as a visual guide that lays out each component of an assembly, strategically positioned to showcase their assembly sequence. The opposite process, where we bring all these components back together, is aptly called collapse. These visual representations provide us with the versatility to demonstrate the assembly process through 3D models, 2D drawings, or engaging video presentations. This assembly consists of two subassemblies. I will use the mechanism subassembly. To create an exploded view, we need to use the exploded view command, which can be accessed through the insert drop-down list, by right-clicking on the configuration that we want to explode, or by using the shortcut toolbar. The Property Manager opens. An exploded view consists of steps. These steps can be either regular steps that allow the translation and rotation of a component, or radial. In the Exploded Step Components field, we input the component or components that we want to explode. The X, Y, Z axes appear and we can move the components on any axis we want. A scale appears as we move the component. This is called Explode Distance and can be filled manually as well in the respecting Property Manager field. Generally, when in regular step, we can translate components, rotate components, or both translate and rotate components. Exploded steps appear on the top of the Property Manager. The earliest steps are on the top of the tree, and the latest steps are at the bottom. You can expand to see the components involved in each step or collapse to hide them. We can also roll back to previous steps by dragging the blue bar at the bottom or use the buttons on the right. The axis orientation can be changed by right-clicking on the middle sphere where the axes meet and choose one of the options given by SOLIDWORKS. We can also hit the Alt button on the keyboard and drag with the left mouse click the sphere to any face we want. This also changes the alignment of the object to be normal to the face we choose. Now that we know how to manipulate our components, let's return to the previous assembly, where we are going to choose the components and translate them on the Z direction. Radial step disperses components in a radial or cylindrical alignment around an axis. We can use radial steps to make two components go separate ways symmetrically, but we'll see a better example of a radial step later. When choosing multiple components, we can see that each component moves equally along the chosen axis. But if we choose the Autospace option, it automatically arranges a set of components evenly along an axis while being dragged. We have the option to choose the center, rear, or front of the bounding box to determine arrangement order of Autospace components. At any point in time, we can revisit a previous step and make edits as needed. As previously noted, radial steps work well for components arranged cylindrically around an axis. This proves to be highly efficient, particularly in scenarios of this nature, and contributes to creating a more polished presentation video of the exploding or collapsing process. Once completed, the exploded view manifests as a derived configuration of the active assembly configuration. From here, we can roll back to previous steps, and the results will directly reflect in our viewport. When not in an exploded view, we can right-click within the exploded view and opt for the Explode feature. Keep in mind that while in exploded view, the addition of mates is not possible. Additionally, multiple exploded views can coexist within a single configuration. For further customization, we have the option to select Edit feature to modify our exploded view, allowing us to add, delete or suppress steps of the explosion. To revert to the assembled view, a simple right-click allows us to choose Collapse. We also have the capability to generate a brief animation of the explosion or collapse. Simply right-click and select either Animate Explode or Animate Collapse. Within the animation controller, we can tailor playback options to our liking, or hit the Save button to preserve a short video showcasing the intricate process of the explosion or collapse. When working with subassemblies in our document, we have a helpful feature called Select Subassemblies. Activating this option allows us to precisely choose components belonging to a subassembly. On the other hand, if we leave this box unchecked, we retain the ability to move the entire subassembly as a unified entity. We can use the Motion Study tab to create an animation sequence. This is the best way to get a more interesting animation, as you can use the animation controls and options, like the animation wizard, which includes the explode and collapse sequences. When we are done, we simply save the video. Exploded views can be copied from one configuration to another using Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V shortcuts, or by pressing the Ctrl key on your keyboard while dragging the exploded view to another configuration. The same exploded steps are added to the chosen configuration. A quick note here, exploded views can be applied in multi-body parts. While the choices may be fewer than in assembly exploded views, it remains a valuable tool, especially for occasions like frames designed with weldments. If a subassembly or a multi-body part already has exploded view, we can seamlessly utilize it in another assembly. Steps are conveniently included in the exploded steps tree. This offers an extremely efficient and quick way of reusing exploded views to subassemblies or multi-body parts used throughout your SOLIDWORKS creations. Let's enhance our exploded views with exploded lines. We can manually insert an explode line to illustrate connections between elements in an exploded view. We can do this by activating the Explode Line Sketch command. The property manager appears, and in the Items to Connect field, choose Faces, Edges, etc. The arrow indicates the direction of the explode line. We can change the direction by marking the Reverse checkbox. The Alternate Path checkbox creates an alternative path, and the Along XYZ option maintains the path orthogonal. We can choose multiple entities to connect the path to, marking the Reverse checkbox for each edge or face separately. After hitting the green checkmark, a path in dashed line style is created between the two components. This command creates a 3D sketch. The sketch can be found beneath the exploded view in the Configuration Manager. We can edit the Explode Line sketch by right-clicking on it. The Sketch Color option allows us to change the color of the Explode Line sketch. The Edit Sketch option allows us to modify the 3D sketch, including adding 3D sketch entities like lines, circles, etc. This means we have all the 3D sketch capabilities, like dragged lines or other relations between sketch entities. The rootline command initiates the same window we used earlier to create the exploded sketch. This allows us to create explode lines more efficiently. The jog line command allows us to add a jog along an exploded line. This is very helpful when we want to alter the path of a component. We can also make this more accurate by utilizing the already known techniques of 3D sketching. To avoid manual creation of all explode lines, we can use the Smart Explode Lines command. We can access it through the Exploded View drop-down or by right-clicking the exploded view. The Smart Explode Lines property manager opens, highlighting Path with a yellow color. Paths are generated based on the bounding box center by default, but this can be easily changed for one, multiple, or all components. In the Components field, we can delete or insert components for creating explode lines. For instance, we can exclude the components for which we created the explode lines in previous steps. Once done, hit the green checkmark. Smart Explode Lines can be edited similarly to the explode lines. For example, if there is a missing addition of two components in the field, it can be fixed. However, upon hitting the Edit Sketch, it becomes evident that the exploded lines created with the Smart Explode Lines command cannot be edited in the 3D sketch. To allow modification on a Smart Exploded line, we have to right-click on it and use the Dissolve Entities command. This allows us to modify the lines as we wish. If we want to dissolve all explode lines, a simple right-click in the 3D sketch allows us to dissolve all smart exploded lines. Finally, let's explore how to add exploded views to our drawing documents. The fastest way is to access the exploded views from the View palette on the task pane on the right side. Another method is to choose an already created view and from the Property Manager on the left, mark the Show in Exploded or Model Break State option. This method works with any view we choose. And we can also select between exploded views if we have more than one. And that was all I had to share about exploded views. There will be more helpful videos on exploded views with some extra tips for those who want to get more out of them. So stay tuned and let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more SOLIDWORKS content. See you next video!